What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to our weekly podcast. We are batting practice. I'm Josh. Jacob's over there. Andrew is MIA this week. He is having dinner with his sister. Shout out Celia. If you know, you know. She's a cool person. So shout out Celia. Um, Andrew will be back for our regularly scheduled programming next week, I believe. But yeah, we're doing a little duo action tonight, just the bros talking a little bit of baseball, a little bit of so rare, maybe some crafting, cooking up some
So
T1s.
Minecraft, baby, chicken
Uh,
jockey.
chicken jockey.
Have to say that for the
Ooh.
algorithm.
Yeah, for the yeah. Minecraft. Jack Black.
There
Taylor
you go.
Swift.
Nah, not yet. It's not football season yet.
You're right. You're right. But before we get into all of that, Jacob, you experienced something very interesting, and I'm excited for you to share because want to say some things about what you're about to talk about. So get into it because I feel like I have some things I want to mention.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Or questions maybe you'll have.
Yeah, maybe questions. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So what Nosh is so cryptically referencing is that I last night went to your Savannah Bananas baseball game. Yes, sir. We got to go, went with some friends.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Kevin. I know he's listening.
Is he a cool guy? Like Celia's a cool person?
A cool person. What did you say?
A cool person, I
He's a cool
think.
person. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
Yes. No, it was a good group of people that we went with, and it's just an experience. First and foremost, I would like to say everything. This is the Panthers Stadium. I don't know. It's a football stadium. There's 75,000 people
It's
there.
huge.
And they
Huge.
played twice. They played a game on Friday and Saturday, so a little bit of a series going on. But there were 75,000 people there each night, 150,000 total.
It's wild.
So they
Wild.
definitely set a record with that. But in front of the Panthers Stadium, in front of Bank of America Stadium, they had a bunch of merchandise set up. So you would go through the gate, like show them your ticket. You would go through the metal detectors before you got into the stadium. So the whole street was blocked off, and the street was set up with just merchandise tents. And the line
Smart.
snaked so far. And we were like, all right, well, that's okay. There's another spot for merchandise tents. And the line was even further. And
Oh,
then there was
jeez.
one way on the far end, and that one was just as far too. So we went into the stadium, and they were selling merch inside. And we
Dang.
waited in just as long of a line inside, probably, as we would have waited
Wow.
outside. But I got the hat with the banana on it. That's all
That
I
hat is
wanted. It
sick.
was the
Yeah.
last hat they had in stock,
Oh my God.
last hype of hat. They had
Sure.
these,
Sure.
and they had kids' hats, but this was
Okay.
the last one.
Wow.
Yes, the last
Wow.
type of hat, because they had like five or six that you could have chosen from
That's
in those
sick.
outside merchandise lines, but the inside one was already scooped up.
Wow.
And who knows by the time we would have gotten through those long, I'm telling you, there were 300 people in a line.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's insane.
at
You would have missed
least.
the game.
Yeah, we would have missed the show because the game itself started at 7, but everything kind of
Sure.
started around 6:15, 6:30.
Okay.
Um, there's not a, well, I don't know how much I want to say. I guess spoilers if you're going to a Bananas game, cover your ears,
Sure.
skip ahead a little bit. But instead of a first pitch, they just throw out a first banana. It's the
Yeah.
first peel.
That makes sense.
The first
That makes
peel.
that makes perfect
Mhm.
sense.
And from then on forth, it's baseball, but it's a show at the same time. There's what I like about it, what I really like about the Savannah Bananas, and a lot of people compare them to the the Harlem Globetrotters. A lot of people compare them to the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Feel like
But
it's not.
the thing about the Harlem Globetrotters is that their outcomes are very predictable. Basketball,
Hmm.
obviously you can miss shots, but you can get the rebound and try it again. Baseball, you don't really get to try a hit again. If you pop a ball up, you're out. Sure, you get a second chance. Like, for example, if you're in the field and you make an error, you'll get a second chance in that regard. But
Sure.
you can't, like, get a rebound and reset up a choreographed play that you might have practiced. It's more of like a, if the ball is hit to center field, Can he do a backflip and catch it, or does he need to go run and catch it?
Right.
Or, like, for example, the batter that led off the game on Friday night hit a home run. Did we see a leadoff home run? No. That's not
Right.
scripted. You can't
It's
really do
different.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But it
see
was
different stuff.
Mm. So I think that's what's really cool about it is that while the baseball is going on, you will see different stuff. Like it's not just a concert where a band is touring and performs the same stuff over and over. Yeah, they
Right.
have a set list and yeah, they have some choreographed stuff, but there's also some time for some improv, and that's some of the best part is when those guitar solos come out and they are going off script, and that's what it's baseball. You can't go on script.
Right.
There was a a batter where if he struck out in the game, they would give away free donuts. And guess what happened to him? He got hit twice. He got hit by a
No.
pitch. The man who's gonna give out free donuts to the crowd if he struck out, and I'm sure they could have rigged that somehow, right? He got
Sure. Sure.
hit by a pitch twice.
Wow.
Twice.
Wow. They
So
hate
no free donuts
donuts.
for us. No free
Dang.
donuts for us. But
Smart.
it's just a good time overall. I will say if you have a chance, enter the lottery if they're coming to your city because we got tickets firsthand. We didn't get them on the secondhand market and they were $40 a piece. Secondhand
That's
market,
not
they
bad.
were probably 5 times that amount.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire
All
questions, all
right.
right? Did they play the party animals?
They did play the party
Okay.
animals, and here
Okay.
we go. Another reason why they can't be compared to the Harlem Globetrotters. The party animals won, man.
Well, that was my next question.
Party
That was
animals were down the entire game, and they
wow.
do scoring ever so slightly differently. You win an inning. So like
Sure.
for example, if a team scores three in the top of an inning and then a team scores one in the bottom of an inning, that's just 1 point for the team that scored three.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
So they were down one, but in the ninth inning, turns into real baseball where all runs count.
Okay.
Party animals were down one, they put up four in the ninth.
Wow. That's
They put up
crazy.
four to win against the Savannah Bananas.
Wow. That's insane.
Hmm.
Okay.
So they can lose. They can
Yeah,
lose.
yeah. Unlike the Globetrotters,
Hmm.
they like never lost.
And okay, this was the okay. I'm going to keep spoiling things,
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
was
keep
also
going.
so this isn't a spoiler. They have a golden batter rule where
Mm,
anybody at any point in the game can call in any hitter on your team just once. It can be any sort of hitter. Like for example, you could call in Otani if you wanted with the bases loaded.
sure.
And they used it on our boy Skoll. His last name is Skoll. So shout out to our Minnesota listeners out there. He came in and hit a home run as the golden
Oh,
batter.
that's sick.
You can't write that any better.
That's
Yeah, the pitcher
awesome.
might have thrown a meatball down the middle. Yeah, but like
Sure.
it was for the party animals, man, and they won.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hmm.
Um, something I've always wondered because I've seen the clips, I've seen the highlights, and it's always the like the the trick plays and stuff that you see highlights of.
Hmm.
Um, so they're not always trying trick plays. Like they play real baseball
Yeah.
between the trick plays and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
is there so there's instances where like it's simply a baseball game happening. Like I'm sure there's like some gimmick always going on, like the walk-up song and they do a dance or whatever, like from what
Hmm.
I've seen. But like there's instances where it is just like they're pitching normally, they're hitting normally. Obviously, it's scored differently, but like it's just baseball.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
that's cool.
Um,
That's also different than the
they,
Globetrotters.
I will say, if they get a chance to do a trick shot, they're gonna go for it.
Sure, which is that's the point. Yeah,
Yeah. And they
okay,
also keep track of the trick shots. There's a little trick shot counter. It didn't
as they
count
should.
anything towards the score, but it was just there, and that was great.
I love it.
Bananas
I love it.
won. The Bananas won the trick shot counter by a lot.
Okay, okay, there you go. So they were trying more entertainment. They weren't
Hmm.
trying to necessarily win the game.
Hmm.
They just wanted entertainment wins. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I have. I think those are my questions.
There you
I
go.
I say this somewhat reluctantly, because I feel like it could go a very like I feel like the purists could really come after me, the baseball purists. But I feel like there's some things in banana ball or that the MLB could take and adapt some way, but like use some of the interesting things that happen if the goal is to make baseball more entertaining, which under Manfred, that's been the goal. That's why we have a pitch clock now. That's why games are like 2.5 hours instead of 4 hours. Um, I feel like MLB could take some of the rules from Banana Ball and implement them into baseball. Is that
Trick
crazy to
shots.
say?
Exactly, trick shots.
Trick shots, you
hmm
think so?
If the batter leaves the batter's box, it's a strike. How about
Hmm.
that? Batter has to be ready for a pitch at any cost.
I
You
like that.
can't leave the box. But if he
Sure.
gets hit, it's just whatever.
I like, dude, like if they could come up with I don't know if it could be exactly like the golden batter rule, but some variation like that. Like
Mhm.
in the MLB picture, it's like the bottom of the ninth, and you bases loaded, 2 outs, and like, oh, we're gonna just throw Tani up there instead of
Right.
some other schmuck that was due to bat. I mean, it's like a pinch hitter, but it could be anybody. It's not somebody off the bench. So, like, I don't know. People probably wouldn't be a fan of that, but I think that could be kind of fun. It could make
hmm
some for some very entertaining situations.
hmm
Like,
Yeah.
remember in the World Baseball Classic when it was Otani pitching against Trout in the final?
Yeah.
Like, you could get some situations like that going. That would be, I mean, that's what the people want to see, right?
Mhm. And it was great.
It was
It,
great. It
he
was
struck him out.
electric. Yeah,
Struck him out.
absolutely. There you have it. Banana ball, man.
Would
Did
highly
anybody catch?
recommend.
Oh, I do have one more
No,
question.
no fans caught a
Ah,
foul ball.
dang. Bummer.
A lot of drops. A lot of drops.
Ah, God.
Mhm.
Come on, guys. Get your head in the game.
Mhm.
Wow. Fun. Very fun.
I will say before we switch topics here, we there was someone sitting like I cannot make this up. I promise you, I'm not making this up. Full row of people. Everyone was there having a great time, and there was two ladies on the end. One of them had a Cubs hat on. And
No,
guess
no.
who was the only two people that didn't make it the entire game? They left early. Even at the Bananas game, the Cubs fans leave early. It's not just in
What?
Chicago. I cannot make this up. You like it makes no sense. There was a show.
That's
There was a show
terrible.
after the show. You can stick around to watch the end and then after the end because there's other stuff. There was fireworks. I mean, like,
Come on. That's terrible.
anyways, there's good Cubs fans out there. I know there are. I know there are.
Sure. Some.
Like PCA's fan club.
Sure. Maybe.
I'm a part of PCA's fan club. I'm a part of PCA's fan club.
That's why you're hyping them up because you're
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. I think this is a good transition to talk about not to mention we're going to be talking about the Brewers. And we're gonna do just a little bit of a Homer segment because it's been so long that we've actually done one and we always hint at one. So we're finally gonna actually commit to one. But we're gonna also work in some NL Central here. So again, if you're still coming back, if you didn't want to hear any banana spoilers and you're here for the So Rare, it's coming. Skip ahead just a little bit longer, a little bit longer. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, we just witnessed this weekend. We saw the Cubs take only one of three from the Tigers. We saw the Brewers take only one of three from the Padres, but we saw the Cardinals take two of three from the Dodgers.
Wild.
And we saw
Absolutely
the
wild.
Pirates sweep the Phillies. So the Brewers sweep of the Phillies is not even really considered anything noteworthy anymore because apparently the Pirates can do it too.
Insane.
And
The
then
Brewers
we saw the
Brewers.
Reds sweep the Diamondbacks.
Best division in baseball?
Is the NL Central the best division in baseball?
Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not.
But like
But
it's
crazy, crazy weekend.
Cubs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Crazy weekend for sure. Okay, so the Cubs are 40 and 25. And the Cardinals are 4 games behind them at 36 and 29. The Brewers are 35 and 31. Reds are at 500. They're only 2 games behind the Brewers, 33 and 33.
Okay, Reds.
And
Okay.
Pirates, after that sweep of the Phillies, are 26 and 40. I
Yikes.
mean, It's a good looking division. Every team has a L10 of 500 or better.
There
And
you go.
believe it or not, the only two
Hot.
that don't are the Cardinals and the Reds, who just swept teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy actually.
But let's focus here on the Brewers for a second. They just came off of winning 8 in a row and have gone, I think, 2-3 since that, or 2-2 since that, maybe. I think they've
Mhm.
been 500 since then. But I was telling you guys not to press the panic button a few months ago. And sure, I'm looking at other teams still, like the Yankees, like the Dodgers. Would the Brewers ever be able to beat a team like this in a game of seven series? I don't know. Are they even going to make the playoffs this year? They're sitting in third in the division. I don't know. But they're 4 games over 500, and it seemed like they were really struggling to get over that 500 mark. They were sitting at around, it felt like 20 and 21, and then it was like 23 and 25, and then it was like 25 and 28, and then it was 28 and 29. And they finally hopped. It wasn't exactly like that because there was an 8 game winning streak in there, obviously. But it felt like that for a while, and they finally managed with that winning streak to pop above 500, and that's where they're sitting at 35 and 31. You can't be mad as a Brewers fan, can you? There's little bits and pieces that you can be upset about, absolutely. But can you be mad at 35 and 31 after how this team started against the Yankees, after how they've kind of skidded a little bit there in like the early half, the later half of April and the early half of May?
Mhm. I
What,
mean,
can you be mad as a Brewers fan?
I think we should probably feel better about where we're at than I feel like a lot of people do. I feel like the vibe has changed a little bit since they went on their winning streak. I think people were very down on the Brewers before that, with good reason. They have not played amazing this year, but all things considered, I don't think you can be too upset about where they're at this point. A lot of injuries. I know it's a lot of teams have a lot of injuries, and it's hard to go down that route. But when you have like a full starting rotation outside of Freddie Peralta on the injured list, like that makes a difference. Um, and yet they've put up the fifth best pitching staff basically in baseball this year. I think based off of ERA, I think they have the fifth best ERA or something or like that. But they're hitting kind of not good again.
Not good. Not
So
great.
it's like it's frustrating. Like they don't have a ton of injuries on the offensive side. Garrett Mitchell isn't going to come back and hit the ball around the field. Blake Perkins, same thing. So it's not like they're missing a big bat, and it's their problem again. It's the Brewers from every other year. The Brewers have played baseball where they pitch really well and they can't hit it, and nothing's changed.
Let
So I'm
me
concerned. I'm concerned about the offense. That's my biggest concern.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How many hitters do the Brewers have over an average of 250?
I'm gonna just go absolutely. I'm gonna say two: Churio
Okay,
and Hoskins.
you're forgetting about the boys, the kids, the bestest friends
Oh,
that
Terang
anyone could
and
ever
Sal.
have.
So four,
Yes.
four,
Yeah.
four.
You
Okay.
nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it. 4 players on the Brewers are sitting above 250 with the batting average. Zero above 295.
Yikes.
Sal Frelick is leading the team at 292. And if we hop on over to let's go. Is there an F war? Here we go. This is Fangraphs war.
Sure.
We have 4 players. Only 4 players have put up a 1 war or better. Churio is at 1.
The same
Contreras.
four. It's the
Yep.
same four.
Contreras, not Hoskins. Hoskins is at
Oh,
point
sure.
point
Point
nine.
nine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Because then you look
It's
at
the
somebody like,
offensive stats are not good. And
no, they're not good.
yeah. I would say it's been refreshing to see Reese Hoskins do what he's doing. He's very streaky. Been very, very
Yeah.
streaky so far
Yeah.
this year. But it's been refreshing to see him hit 260 and not 220.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yelich, the homers will come for sure. I think he's been so much better recently than he was to start the season. I think he just
sure
wasn't seeing the ball and he's been making some adjustments recently, and he's a good enough hitter to bring it back. But looking at this offense, Trujillo started slow. Contreras, William
he's
Contreras,
been really bad.
batting 243,
Yeah. And that's up. That's up
and
from
that's
like a
yeah.
couple games ago.
hmm
He's been hovering like the 220s all season.
hmm
Yeah, I agree. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm really happy with Isaac Collins' output so far. His stats don't jump off the page, but his defense is fantastic, and he's hitting the ball good enough at this point that he's been doing very solid. I think if he had more consistent playing time, he'd have a little bit more WAR than what he has now. But yeah, nobody, and this has been the Brewers thing like all along. Like the Brewers just never have that standout guy. In 2018, it was Yelich. In 2019, it was Yelich. It's not Yelich anymore, and they just don't have that all star hitter. Okay, you Churio sure, but Churio's also 21, 21 years old,
Yeah,
20.
right.
So
And this is
like
we're kind of seeing the same thing that happened last year, so we'll see if he heats
he
up
picks it up. Yeah,
right around now.
yeah, true. Um, so yeah, I what do you do though? Because like this trade deadline, like if you, what would you be happy with the Brewers doing come the trade deadline? Let's say they hover around second place in the Central, probably somewhere in a wild card or a few games out of a wild card spot. Like, do you sell because the market is just not going to be there in the league, so the prices are going to be high for players? Do you kind of do what the Brewers do and like sell a little bit, get some prospects back, try and stay competitive, but also sell off a little bit? Do you buy? Is that even an option?
I don't think buying's happening unless something crazy happens. I don't think selling I think this is going to be a Brewers year. I think this is going to be we're going to
Just
ride
stay
this one
pat,
out. Yeah.
stand pat.
Yep. And be content if we finish 83 and 79 and don't make the playoffs.
Sure. Okay, on top of that, what at what point do you try something new? And should they already be trying something new? Rolling out Joey Ortiz and the combination of Caleb Durbin has been fine, but like we're giving up bats to Andrew Monasterio still, and it's like, at what point do you try something else? Like, does Joey Ortiz need like a week or two off or to go in the minors for a bit? And you bring up I don't know who I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who our AAA shortstop is right now, but like, do you try something out where you try and bring somebody up?
I'm thinking, how about
Wilkin?
Brock Wilken is the first one that comes to my mind. That's who I
He had a
was
grand
literally
slam
I was just
today
Googling him.
or yesterday. He had a grand
Um,
slam.
Brewers named minor league player and pitcher for the month of May. The Milwaukee Brewers have named infielder Brock Wilken as minor league player of the month and right-handed pitcher Jacob Mizorowski as minor league pitcher of the month.
At what
I
point do you
don't
bring him up?
I don't want them to deal him. I want them to play. Bring them up. Absolutely. Something's got to be coming soon because it's hard to live with hitters hitting under, I mean, 220 at the bottom of your lineup, much less hitting under 200.
Yeah,
And the Brewers are sometimes throwing out two or three guys that are out there with those averages at the bottom of the lineup.
yeah.
Like
I
what?
mean, or like, do you throw Terang over at shortstop? Like, can
No. That's
because
the thing. Ortiz's defense is really good.
Wilkin is by trade a third baseman.
Yeah.
He's listed as an infielder, so I want to say he can play other infield positions, but um, he's more of a third baseman. And
Mm,
third base to shortstop is not an easy transition. Um, so I don't. It's tough. It's tough. Like, what do you do at this point?
mm. Yeah, I
Because
would like to know any followers of the Brewers or the NL Central in general. Like, let us know what should the Brewers do? Should they be sellers? Is it that time to even talk about that yet? I mean, it is. It really
right.
is. Currently, the Brewers are sitting at a 28.5% chance to make the playoffs, and it will remain to be seen what they do. But yeah, let us know. Let us know for sure. And let us know, like, who's your NL Central team? Cubs? Do you think the Cardinals have it in them to overtake the Cubs? Do the Brewers have it in them to overtake them both? Are the Reds going to maintain around that 500 and still a little bit of a threat down there in fourth place? I don't know. But hey, all I know is that the NL Central is all of a sudden looking a little more strong than it used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Better than they did at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you've survived it this far, me and Nosh have been sitting on 1,000 essence in Sorare, and you're like, oh no, here comes the Sorare talk. Everyone that doesn't like Sorare, stick around because this is good. This is good. This is good stuff. Use our link,
Heck
of
yeah.
course, in the description too to sign up for Sorare. Get 50 market credits towards building that team. Own your game in Sorare. And that's what we're about to do. We're about to create or we're about to craft our cards over on the platform with essence
Heck
that
yeah.
we've earned from winning in game weeks and craft or completing missions, which we'll talk about in a second, and earning. Or let's go ahead and do it. Which is really
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, yeah. Let's
Uh,
just do it. Why don't you? Do you want me to go
I'll go.
first? Do you want you to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Um, I think we should. Do you think this will be tier two or better? I think that should be the mark.
Tier
It's kind of
two
like
or
the half.
better?
That's like the halfway.
I would put it at like tier three or better.
Do you think tier three or better?
Yeah,
Sure,
I hope
sure.
it's a tier three or better.
I'm gonna
Send it.
say. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say it is.
Do it. All right. I believe
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, you're gonna have to click again. Pumping Essence.
Reveal my card.
How many cards have you been able to craft so far this year? United States?
USA. Aaron Judge is intact. Aaron Judge is
Outfield?
intact. Yankees. Ooh.
Rays. Hey, he's been okay this year, Josh Lowe.
Okay. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think that's the second card I've crafted so far.
Josh
Come
Lowe,
on.
263 batting average this year. He only has 300 or three home runs. So he's not much of a home run hitter. Maybe not
Okay.
your so rare preferable player, it's looking like. But he's got a WAR of 1.1 this year.
Do you think we could? Okay. Well, you're all right. All right.
All right.
Uh,
Over
that could have
under.
been. It could have been a lot
I
worse.
think I'm crafting a better card than you.
I think you are too.
I've crafted 3 cards so far this year,
Okay. That's pretty
and
solid.
I've gotten, let's just go ahead here, I'll share it.
You've gotten junk.
I have gotten, hold on, we got to go do this and then go back to this and I'm still learning the UI here. But there we go. There's Vladdy. I've crafted Alan Roden, who plays in the minor leagues. I've crafted Tyler Rogers, who is a relief pitcher, and I've crafted Curtis Mead. And I've crafted Harrison Bader. Look at that. I've
Wow.
crafted 4 cards this year. My best card has been Harrison
Sheesh.
Bader.
Yikes.
So I think now's the time, is it not?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Um, Josh Lowe this game week is a tier three. So
Okay.
it was right on the line.
Okay.
I can't be mad about that. As long I mean like you're kind
Usable
of
in a lower
hoping
tier lineup.
yeah, you're kind of hoping for anything but like a relief pitcher that is not a closer, like some random relief pitcher. Wow, 15th. Here we go.
Tier two, tier two, tier two.
Um,
I was
and
just
not
seeing what reward
somebody
that position was in. This was
sure,
tier two or tier three.
not somebody that's a
Yeah.
threat to get demoted. Those are kind of like the big ones, you know?
Interesting. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm just clicking here. Let's go ahead and go to my essence here. And I'm going to go ahead and craft better than Josh Lowe is what we're hoping for. You know, it'd be crazy if I got like Jacob Wilson. If you got Josh and I got Jacob.
That would be crazy. I did craft myself.
Here we go.
Oh, wow,
Serial
no
number
serial
17.
number.
That's not good.
Third base, USA. Oh, that's not good. Graham Pauley. Woof. That is not
Well,
better than
I
Josh
know who
Lowe.
won that one.
Oh my God, that's That's really not good. Graham Pauley is a tier 5.
I
Wow.
can't even use him.
He hasn't played in in like 3 weeks. Is Graham Pauley still on the Marlins or is in the
Why
minors?
why is that an available card to craft? With 17 serial number, that shouldn't be that shouldn't even be an available card to craft.
That is that is really bad. That is terrible. Yeah, you're right. That shouldn't even be an option.
What on
Graham
earth?
Pauley. I mean, he's young. 13th round pick. Dude, I think he's in the minors. I don't think he's in the majors.
I'm like speechless. That was like maybe one of the worst possible.
Why does he even have a card?
Why does he have a so rare card?
Yeah, he got optioned on May 29th to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Did he just get brought back up?
No, he got recalled on April 18th.
Nope. Hey, here we go. Graham Pauley, another one. Graham Pauley hits a back-to-back home run. There we go.
Oh,
Okay,
there you
for the
go.
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Okay.
I mean,
All right. So missions are a thing in Sorare now. We're gonna
tier
pretend that didn't
tier
happen.
6? Tier
I might
6?
just go ahead and edit that out. That was crazy.
Tier 6?
I
Wow,
can't. That's two cards I
I
can't
feel
use.
I
Like,
feel really good about Josh Lowe now. I
like
was
I
like,
was
yeah,
like
Josh Lowe, but now I
in
feel
my head,
great.
I was like, well, even if it's a lower tier card, I still like to craft a card that I could use in daily gameplay. I
Sure.
could use a lower tier this year card in new season daily, which all you need to do is finish top 50% to win essence.
Yeah.
And then maybe the next time I use that essence to win a better card. But no, instead I get a card I can't even use. Okay.
Yikes. Yikes. Well,
As
Jacob,
soon as I saw that low serial number, I knew it was bad.
yeah. Don't fret though, because with missions, you can earn more essence to craft more Graham Polys.
Could have been Jack Caglianone.
That would have been sick. That would have been very sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like low is probably really bad or really good. Don't you think? Right? Like if
It's
it's
someone that's just brought up.
just
That's
brought
what it
up,
has to be.
which is wild because again, like why is he shouldn't have any new cards right now? He's not
Mm,
in the major. He has been in the
right.
majors for 3 weeks
Right.
or two
Like, so
weeks.
why does he still have cards that are available for rewards
He
if he
shouldn't. He
we should
shouldn't.
look at all the tier fives. We'll do that in a sec. We'll do that in a second. Let's
Yeah.
get to missions real quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll finish out the podcast here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, missions are not that long of a topic here. They were just added to So Rare last week, in fact, last week. And there's daily missions and bi-weekly missions, so game week missions. And what's cool about these missions is you can win essence again to craft cards, to craft your own Grand Poly. And I've it's just something that they added that they didn't need to add. There's no complaints that I have about it. The only thing is that you need vault picks to win limited or plus limited or better essence, whereas you can't use the cards that are like you're using in your daily gameplay because they're unvaulted. So it's a little bit harder in that regard, but I found that I have enough vaulted cards where I've been able to win a couple of picks, not a crazy amount. I've probably lost about 90% of them. But as for the bi-weekly missions, I've completed most of those. And it's just free essence. I have no complaints. They're not new. They've been around in soccer and Sorare NBA, and now they've finally brought them to baseball. I will say in Sorare NBA in the playoffs, there were cash pick'em
Hmm.
missions where you could pick cards in your gallery that weren't vault. Well, there's no vault, but pretend that you could pick any card you wanted, and if they hit that score, you'd win $5 in ETH, not
Yeah.
just essence. So
Yeah.
I think we might be seeing some of those too come.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Any complaints about missions?
Not really, man. I feel like this is one of those additions where it's like it's good and it's fun. It adds in
Hmm.
a little extra spice into the gameplay. Um, and that's it. That's the whole point of it, right?
Hmm.
So being able to win a little more essence is always great. And it's not like they're skimping you out. You're getting 50 essence for the game week missions, which is great. So you can really start to rack up some essence and, like you said, craft your own tier five Grand Poly.
Right. I mean,
Wild.
I would say I can't be upset because of my rewards that I've won, but my crafts have been so bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bad. And if they had a system like NBA where you could save up your essence to craft a better card, I definitely would have done that.
Hmm.
Um, I want to see, is there a breakdown
I was just gonna say, is there like a percentage?
of what cards you can win? Here we go. So it's 26.6% chance to win a 5, 4, or 3. So there's a
Okay.
70, there's a, yeah, just over 75% chance that you're going to win a tier 3 or above. But the fact that I've hit probably 3 tier 5s and maybe a tier 4 and a tier 3
It's
is
not good.
crazy.
It's not good.
Star tier is 2%.
Wow.
That's higher than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
2%. Okay.
So
Yeah.
one out of every 50 cards crafted is a star tier.
Sure.
4.8% on tier 1, 13.3% on tier 2.
Okay. So, man, two cards in a row being in the bottom three tiers, and then you having. So I've crafted two cards, and you've crafted five now,
Hmm.
and all seven have been tier three or worse.
Yep. The odds are not.
The odds of that happening are really bad,
Yeah,
really bad. Like the fact that neither of us have crafted like even like a tier two is kind of insane.
that's crazy.
Well,
Well,
don't play the odds, kids.
don't play the odds indeed, even though
Oh
it was
man.
free S, not free, but you know
You're
what I
right.
mean.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I
It's
mean.
yeah. I mean, I think you have a right to be upset 100%, but
Hmm.
like I can't be mad at Josh Lowe. Like you said, it's free.
Hmm.
Free card. He's usable, kind of.
Right.
All right.
Well, there you go. There's a little bit of so rare for you. Not too much. We'll be right back into it next week with Andrew. We're going to be talking about stacks. So we already know what we're talking about. Should you stack cards? Should you use cards on the same team? Should you spread it out a little bit? Should you throw cards with your pitcher, against your pitcher? Probably not against your pitcher, right? We'll find out in the next week because that's what we're talking about. Before we get into the pickle, Nosh,
Yes.
first and foremost, I would like to apologize for my segment last week, This Day in History. I was editing the podcast back and I said that 27 times 3 is 71, and none of you had the gall to call me out and be like, 71? 27. 9 times 3 is 27.
It's definitely 81.
27 times 3 is the same as 9 times 9, which is 81, not
81.
71.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna be
So
honest.
it's
I,
your
I
guys'
don't
fault
I
just
don't
as much
remember
as
you
mine, is
saying
what
that.
I'm saying.
I don't even remember you saying that. So I missed that part.
It's your guys' fault just as much as
You're
mine.
right.
That's all I'm going to
You
say.
were you were probably on a roll. We didn't want to interrupt.
Hmm.
You were cooking through.
Yeah. Well, on this date in history, this is June 18th. Let's try it again.
No. Three times 27?
On this date in history, this is June 8th, 1921. We have your New York Yankees playing the Cleveland Indians, two teams that still exist, actually.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we now have the Cleveland Guardians for good reason. But this is 104 years ago. A little bit older than last week's, which was like 25 years ago. But June 8th, Babe Ruth was playing for the Yankees. He was actually arrested in New York for speeding.
Oh wow.
And according to police at the time, he was going over 25 miles an hour.
Well, that
That's
seems
right.
really slow. That's slow.
Not going 25 over, he was going over 25. So he was probably going about 30 in his little Ford Model T.
Wow.
And the cops were like, you should not be going 30 miles an hour. And not only that, back then, that resulted in some jail time. He was thrown in jail immediately and
Yikes.
required to pay a $100 fine.
Woof.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the catch is that he was on his way to the game.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
So if you go into this game, into the game logs on Baseball Reference, you can see June 8th, 1921. Do it yourself. You can see that Babe Ruth comes in after he paid his $100 fine as a pinch hitter. How about that? So June, I keep saying it, 104 years ago, Babe Ruth was arrested and still managed to play for the Yankees that day. He drew a walk and witnessed a 4-3 walk-off win against
Wow.
the Cleveland Indians. What's crazy is that he changed his clothes in jail, like they knew who he was, and he had his
Right.
clothes in his car. Um, and he managed to get to the game, middle of the game. They were like, I mean, he's late, but hey, it's Babe Ruth. We're gonna
Sure.
sub him in. He was batting 350 at the time and drew a walk. Like
That's
actually
wild.
made a little bit of a difference in the game.
Sure.
So
Love it.
there you have it. Bet you didn't know Babe Ruth was actually arrested on the same day he played in the game.
There you go. The fine in today's dollars is about $1,700.
Hmm.
There you go.
Nothing for a
For going
baseball player, but
going over 25 miles per hour. Oh man, that's
yeah,
crazy. Flying. Absolutely flying down the street. Was it in New York? Did you
it
say
was in New
that?
York. Yeah.
Oh, just flying down the streets in New York, man. How could he? How dare he? Do
Walk-off win
you
for the Yankees.
do you think he's the only player in history to be arrested and then play in the game in the same day in the
Ooh, that's a
MLB?
good question.
We've
Yeah,
seen it. We've seen it in other sports. We saw it with Scotty Scheffler,
that's
golfer.
true.
I think it happened with Tyreek Hill too.
That's true.
So we've seen it in other sports
Although
recently.
they were,
Scotty was
what's
in
the difference? What's
handcuffs.
the difference between detained and arrested? Because Babe Ruth was actually put in jail.
Yeah, none of
That's
yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know the
that'd be
legal
a better
that's
question.
my fault for not knowing the difference
That'd
between
be a
the two.
better question.
Yeah.
Has anyone been put into jail and then played in the game in the same day?
hmm
Because, like you said, detained, handcuffs maybe, back of a
hmm
car, not to
1921.
jail.
Imagine being like a gangster at the time in jail, and then who walks in is Babe Ruth.
Oh man. But yeah, where's the like, I mean, celebrities should be treated like everybody else, right? But like if you're that cop, like you know it's Babe Ruth,
Yeah,
right?
right at the
I don't know.
time,
I don't know.
his
Wow.
face was in the papers every day. Come on. Come on.
Crazy. I don't know, man. If you've ever watched the old Great Gatsby movie, they go like he's flying in New York in that
Mhm.
movie. And the cop pulls up next to him and he flashes his little card. The cop says, "Sorry, Mr. Gatsby," and drives away. Where's
It's a
Babe Ruth's
little
little card, man?
little uh little romanticization. I can't say it.
Are you saying that movies aren't real life?
It's romanticized.
You're right. All right. It's Babe Ruth in the pickle.
Right?
We should I was gonna say modern day Babe Ruth is Otani. I was
Modern day
thinking
Babe Ruth is Ohtani, but we talked about the Brewers today.
we did,
Is Chad Patrick in here? Because we didn't really talk about Chad Patrick, and he
dude,
deserves a
rookie of
shout
the
out.
year. If it wasn't for PCA
He is in here.
and rookie pitchers don't get as much love, but he has been fantastic. Wow, he's
26 year
exactly
old.
26.
How about
All
that?
right. So NL East, NL West, or AL Central. I think we should get the AL Central out of the way.
How about a
Um,
pitcher, a relief pitcher
a
for
relief pitcher.
no. We should get we should get the NL out of the way. We should guess NL East or
Oh yeah,
West.
yeah, true, 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 true.
So how about like
Ronald
hmm,
Acuna Jr.
Not from the USA. Oh, it could be. No, Carlos
Oh, he's
Estevez is younger.
27.
If you wanted to send Carlos Estevez is older, much older. But if you wanted to send the Royals,
Either way,
I just want to get pitchers out of the way. You know?
could
You
do
know
that.
what? You know what? Righty, righty, not in the NL Central, not from the USA, just got hurt. Oh, but it can't be the AL West. That would be silly. But it could be Bobby
Wrong.
Witt. Just kidding. He's not from the
Not from the
I'm
US.
so used to having it be.
The US?
Yeah, also Bobby Witt's younger.
Yeah.
It could
Um,
be.
ooh, wow. Okay.
We stun locked ourselves here.
I think we just need to throw out, I think we need to get division down.
Okay. Okay.
So would you rather get a pitcher out of the way or
Let's go with the relief pitcher in the East or the West. How about like for the Dodgers, we could just say Banda, Anthony Banda. How old is he? He's
that's
a lefty though, I
that's
think.
that's a shout.
He's from the USA, just kidding. Could go with how about 26? Everyone I'm thinking is older than 26, dude.
Yeah. This could be a lot of people. How about Miguel Vargas? Oh
He's
no,
on
he's on
the Yeah, send it. Send it. I like it. I like
25.
it.
Get
25.
the
Just
AL
send it.
Central out of
Get the
there.
Central.
Okay.
Okay. It's East or West.
Okay.
Okay. And he's not from Cuba.
Okay.
Not from
East
Cuba.
or West? East or West? The NL West.
This is like I'm just blanking here. Okay. Let's send Acuna. Or you could
Get
sell no, because he's younger. Luis Angel Acuna is younger.
yeah.
But
We'll get
yeah, we can get
Venezuela out of the
Venezuela
way.
out of the way. We'll get the NL East
Okay.
out of the way.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
Venezuelan.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
So it could be
Oh,
Mets, Phillies.
no. Max Kepler's a lefty, but he's from Germany. Fun fact.
That's wild. Um, like who do the Mets have in their bullpen?
Rojas for the Phillies? He's 24. But hey, you can
We'll
get
get the
Dominican out of
Phillies
the way.
center fielder. Okay, it's not the
Okay, from
Phillies.
the Dominican. Is it Graham Pauley? He's not from the United States. Oh, younger. Yeah, Xavier Edwards is or a switch hitter. It can't be Simon. He just got DFA'd.
Hmm. Yeah, if it's the Marlins, we're in trouble.
Alvarez? Alvarez? Francisco Alvarez?
For the Mets.
He's Venezuelan. Dang it.
Okay. Mets, Marlins, and what, Nationals?
Oh, Nats.
Oh, I feel like it's gonna be somebody on the Nats, dude. It's gonna be some random relief pitcher.
No, it's not. It can't be a relief pitcher, can it?
Yeah, we haven't guessed reliever yet.
Oh, we haven't. Oh no.
Um,
Why don't just say like Raisel Iglesias and get pitcher out of the way,
yeah, like
and
that.
you can get the Braves out of the way.
He's also Cuban.
Oh, we
We
already
already
guessed a
guessed the
Brave. That was
Braves.
stupid.
Not a
Okay,
relief pitcher though.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right.
I need to study my nationalities clearly.
Oh,
Oh, you
Dominican.
know. Okay, okay. I just made a video about him for the Nationals. Jose Tena. He's a third baseman, I think. Oh, he's lefty.
Do we get the Nationals out of the way?
We gotta go for team at this point. Okay,
Okay,
it's the
okay.
Mets. It's the Mets.
It could
Mark
be.
Vientos. We already had Vientos. I swear. No, it's not a third baseman. Not a third baseman.
We could. It could be the.
Mark Vientos is from the USA.
It could be the Marlins too.
Oh, that's right. Oh no.
Like, oh, like the Marlins. The Marlins. Nobody plays for the Marlins, man. The Marlins stink.
We might be out here. Like
Marlins
Jesus
stink.
Sanchez is a lefty. Connor Norby's from the US.
You already said
Sandy, it's not can't be
Edwards.
Sandy.
Oh, He is righty, but he's a starter.
No, Xavier
Oh,
Edwards is a
Edward
switch. Oh,
Cabrera,
Edward Cabrera.
but he's 27 and he's a starter. Do we get the Marlins out of the way?
Get the Marlins out of the way.
Ah,
Oh
Marlins. I
no.
was afraid I would see that. Okay, Marlins. The Marlins aren't
Dane
real.
Myers is from the US, right? His
The
name's Dane
Marlins.
Myers. What am I talking about? What
The
am I
Marlins
talking
aren't real, dude. Oh, the Marlins.
Nope. I think we're done. I'm going on Sorare.
They used to have
I'm cooked. Scout. Team. Marlins.
Otto Lopez.
Otto Lopez used to play on the
Otto
Blue Jays.
Lopez.
Man, never.
Never.
Sorry, Marlins
Never.
fans.
Otto
Sorry, Marlins
Lopez
fans.
not in my book
Hmm
for being on the Marlins,
hmm
dude. Oh man, what a baseball team the Miami Marlins are. Good golly. Well, we tried our best. We
We
tried our
did.
best.
We
Otto
did.
Lopez. I feel like you get
Now you have to
into
buy his Sorare card.
oh man, you get into the weeds of some of these lower tier teams and it gets a little dicey. Gets a
Mm.
little dicey with some of these players, but it's all right. We'll get it back next week. I know it. Um, on top of talking about stacks, like you said, I think we should do a home run derby update. We'll be halfway through the month of June, so we'll come at you with an update on where we are all standing halfway through the month. So we'll be on the lookout for that next week.
Cal
But
Raleigh, Aaron Judge.
there's a lot of big players right now are kind of stinking it up a little bit.
Not Cal Raleigh, not Aaron Judge.
You're right. You're right. Big dumper is will always keep dumping. Don't you forget. Um, well, there you have it. Let us know. Are you crafting cards? Are you doing the missions? Who's winning the NL Central? The Brewers, maybe? I don't know. Let us know what you think. Leave us a rating wherever you're listening to our podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube. Check out the socials on top of all of that. And as always, you just attended batting practice. Now you're ready to get in the game. Peace.
Ronaldo.
Louis.
Suey.